Here we are going to discuss another topic in 10th standard history textbook, the Russian Revolution. The module starts with an extract from The Mother, a novel written by famous Russian writer Maxim Gorky. It explains the plight of working class and farmers in Russia. Maxim Gorky explains the poor condition of the working class in Russia through his famous work, The Mother. Maxim Gorky explains the aim of working class through his work. He put forward some arguments through the famous work. Which are they? He argues, abolish the private property system. Everyone has to work. All power should be in the hands of people. Causes of Russian Revolution. Here we discuss which are the important causes of Russian Revolution. Farmers and factory workers in Russia led a tragic life under the autocracy of the Tsarist emperors who ruled Russia. The factory workers and the peasants suffered more under the Tsarist emperors in Russia. The low agricultural production affected the farmers' income. Moreover, the landless farmers had to pay huge tax. Low agricultural production. Moreover, the peasants compelled to pay huge tax to the king. Though the Russia was rich in natural resources, their industrial production was meager. It was the foreigners who controlled the majority of the industries. Majority of the Russian industries were controlled by the foreigners. Role of thinkers. The thinkers or the writers played a good role in Russian Revolution. They motivated the working class to fight against the autocratic rule of the Tsar. Who were the important thinkers or writers? Maxim Gorky, Leo Tolstoy, Ivan Turgenev, and Anton Chekhov depicted the plight of workers. They explained through their works the pauper condition of the working class in Russia. Another important writers were Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. Stirred the workers. They called for establishing the supremacy of the workers instead of that by capitalists. Trade unions were formed to find remedies for the plight of the workers based on the Marxist ideologies. This way, a trade union was formed in Russia. It was Social Democratic Workers' Party. In later period, the Social Democratic Workers' Party splitted into two. They were Bolshevik Party and Menshevik Party. Bolsheviks and Mensheviks. Bolsheviks means majority party and Mensheviks means minority party. Bolsheviks led by Lenin and Trotsky. At the same time, Menshevik, the leader of the Menshevik was Alexander Kerensky. The crisis reached its worst when the Russia was defeated in the Russia-Japan War in 1905. Bloody Sunday. One of the incidents take place in Russia. What is Bloody Sunday? The workers organized a huge march at Petrograd on 9th January 1905, demanding the political right and economic reforms. The march was fired at by the soldiers and hundreds of demonstrators were massacred. Massacred means hundreds of demonstrators were killed. This event is known as the Bloody Sunday in the history of world. February Revolution. 1917. When the strikes gained massive strength, the emperor was compelled to form a legislative assembly called Duma. The legislative assembly of Russia is called as Duma. Ignoring the protest from Duma, Nicholas II, the then Tsar, decided to participate in the First World War that started in 1914. A lot of Russian soldiers were killed in this war. Food shortage became severe by 1917. Thousands of women marched along the streets of Petrograd on 8th March 1917, clamoring for bread. The workers organized protest march in Petrograd. Though the soldiers clashed with the demonstrators in the beginning, later they joined the workers. The workers captured Petrograd. Nicholas II was thrown out of the power. A provisional government was formed under Alexander Kerensky, the Menshevik leader. Since the Russian calendar was few days behind the international calendar, this revolution took place in March, came to be known as the February Revolution. October Revolution in 1917. A group of Soviets did not approve the provisional government. Vladimir Lenin, who had been in Switzerland, came to Russia and strongly opposed the provisional government. He argued that the entire power should be transferred to the Soviets if they were realized the aim of the revolution. The Bolsheviks and the Soviets supported him. They propagated that only proletarians' government could eradicate the centuries-old economic backwardness and inequality. The Bolsheviks argued that they can eradicate the centuries-old economic backwardness if the proletarian government came to existence. The Bolsheviks put forward several demands. First one, withdraw Russia from First World War. Seize the lands owned by lords and distribute them among the farmers. Make factories public property. In October 1917, the Bolsheviks organized an armed rebellion against the provisional government. Kerensky fled from the country and Russia came under the control of the Bolsheviks. This is known as the October Revolution. A convention of the Soviet was held and cabinet was formed with Lenin as its head. Results of Russian Revolution. Russia withdrew from First World War, seized out the land and distributed among the peasants, gave importance to public sector, introduced centralized planning, achieved develops in the field of science, technology and economy. New constitution came to force in 1924. Union of Soviet Socialist Republic was formed by the consolidating the different Soviet republics. Spread of socialist ideas all over the world. Then we are going to discuss about the Chinese Revolution. In the 20th century, China witnessed a revolution against the foreign rule and monarchy. The Chinese people fought against foreigners and at the same time the existing monarchy in China. Which are the important causes of the Chinese Revolution? One is opium trade. What is opium? Opium is an intoxicant item. British traders imported opium, an intoxicant, to China. This affected Chinese trade and its conception made Chinese people mentally imbalanced. It resulted in the economic and mental subjugation of the Chinese. The import of the opium into China badly affected the Chinese people. Then another cause is the open door policy. What is open door policy? By the end of the 19th century, several European countries acquired the trade privileges in China. America could not acquire the privilege. To acquire the privilege, John Hay, the then State Secretary of the USA, proclaimed the open door policy. As per this policy, America argued for equal rights and opportunities for all countries in Chinese market. Boxer Rebellion. It is one of the important rebellion against the Manchu dynasty which take place in China during the time of 1900. The Manchu dynasty in China favored the foreign interference and domination. Some secret organization in China revolted against it in 1900. The emblem of this organization was the boxer's fist. So this is known as the Boxer Rebellion. Though this rebellion was failure, it stimulated the revolution that came up later. This rebellion persuaded the later revolution in China. The revolt of Sun Yat-sen in 1911. In 1911, another revolution took place under the leadership of Dr. Sun Yat-sen against the Manchu dynasty. This ended monarchy in China. After the revolution, Kuomintang party established a republican government in southern China under the leadership of Sun Yat-sen. Ideologies of Sun Yat-sen. Sun Yat-sen put forward some of the important ideologies. First one, nationalism. He wanted to expel the Manchu dynasty and the imperial powers. Another important ideology, democracy, to establish democratic rule. Socialism, to control capital and distribute land equally. These are the important ideologies put forward by the Sun Yat-sen. First one, nationalism. Second one, democracy. Third one, socialism. He decided to nullify the unjust treaties signed with foreign countries and wanted to maintain equality with Western countries. He decided to nullify means he decided to invalidate the unjust treaties signed with the foreign countries. The Kuomintang Republic adopted the measures for the progress of the agriculture and industry. China received the assistance from Russia in various fields and the Chinese Communist Party was formed. In the beginning, the Kuomintang and the Communists cooperated with each other, but this cooperation was disturbed when Chiang Kai-shek became the head of the republic following the death of Sun Yat-sen. Chiang Kai-shek ascertained the military autocracy in China. He gave opportunity for foreign powers, including the America, to freely interfere in China and did not cooperate with the communists. During the time of Sun Yat-sen, he ready to cooperate with the Chinese Communist Party. But after the death of Sun Yat-sen, Chiang Kai-shek became the leader of Kuomintang party. He not ready to cooperate with the Communist Party. Coal and iron industries, banking and foreign trade was controlled by the foreign countries. The communists protested against the policy of Chiang Kai-shek. They were brutally suppressed. Republic becomes popular. Chiang Kai-shek ascertained the military autocracy in China. He gave opportunity for foreign powers, including America, to freely interfere in China and did not cooperate with the communists. Coal and iron industries, banking and foreign trade were controlled by foreign countries. The communists protested against the policy of Chiang Kai-shek. They were brutally suppressed. During the time of Sun Yat-sen, he ready to cooperate with the Communist Party. But at the same time, after the death of Sun Yat-sen, Chiang Kai-shek not cooperate with the Communist Party of China. When the Communist Party protested the reforms introduced by Chiang Kai-shek, they were brutally suppressed. Long March in 1934. Mao Zedong rose to the leadership of the Communist Party. In 1934, under the leadership of Mao Zedong, a journey started from Jiangxi in South China. The adventurous trip ended at Yan'an in northwestern China. Throughout the journey, they seized the agricultural land and villages from lords and distributed them among the farmers. The journey covered around 12,000 kilometers, so it is known as the Long March. Hence, Mao Zedong and the Communist Party became the symbol of struggle of the Chinese against the foreign power. The Long March started from Jiangxi in South China, ended at Yan'an in northwestern China. Chiang Kai-shek had to seek political asylum in Taiwan when the Red Army of Mao Zedong captured the center of Kuomintang Road. China became the People's Republic on 1st October 1949 under the leadership of Mao Zedong.